Well, good morning, South Mississippi. Happy day after Christmas. Happy Friday morning. It's going to be a pretty nice day out there, but of course we are still dealing with that very dense fog in a couple of spots. This is the IP Casino Resort spot camera over in Biloxi. We can see there on the horizon some very dense fog still out there in a few spots, but others seeing some sun already, so things are starting to clear up. Of course, let's take a look at some of our other tower cameras across the area. Let's head over to the Beau Rivage, also in Biloxi. Once again, looks pretty clear right there, but you can see on the horizon some spots still dealing with that very dense fog. Heading over to Gulfport, Hancock Whitney camera in downtown Gulfport. Now that's where the fog is right now. You can see very dense there along Highway 90 and very slowly drifting inland. So very patchy, very hit or miss out there right now, but some of us still dealing with that very dense fog. So you want to make sure you've got those low beams on and give yourself a little bit of extra time if you're going to go ahead and head out the door here shortly. Of course, it is 62 degrees out there right now, humidity 100%. That is mainly because of that fog. Visibility 0, also attributed to the fog there. Dense fog advisory continues for all of South Mississippi until about 10 a.m. And this also goes for our surrounding areas as well. So if you are traveling, maybe heading back home or maybe traveling a little bit further to continue the holidays, well, you definitely want to keep in mind if you are heading out over the next about hour or two, we still will be dealing with that fog out there, at least in a few spots. Today's forecast, overall rain chances are very low today. It will be very warm as we head into the afternoon hours, though. Many of us will be in those low to mid 70s as we make our way into the afternoon, and it will only get slightly warmer as we head into the weekend. Maybe you're heading out to the Harbor Lights, trying to catch some of the holiday festivities there. It will once again be fairly warm out there. We're going to stay in the upper 60s pretty much all evening long, so you get ready for a fairly warm Christmas celebration out there. In terms of our forecast, let's talk about as we go into the weekend. Overall, we're looking at some pretty warm conditions, really. We're seeing temperatures in the 60s in the morning, afternoon in the 70s. Now, we could be dealing with fog again tomorrow morning. Maybe a little bit more patchy or kind of like today where it does start to clear out fairly early. But moving into the afternoon hours, check this out. We'll be in the mid-70s pretty much across most of South Mississippi as we go into tomorrow afternoon. Chance of rain very low, but we could get maybe one or two hit or miss showers, mainly for our coastal areas, and fog expected to redevelop as we go into the evening hours, once again tonight and tomorrow night as well. We're going to keep that fog pattern each evening and each morning until our next cold front arrives, which is not too far away. Let's talk about those rain chances. Now, going into the weekend, they're, like I said, very, very low. A couple hit or miss showers are going to be possible, primarily in some of our coastal areas. But Sunday, Monday, that's your highest chance of catching any rain at all. Still a very low chance, but definitely still very possible as we do have that cold front moving through late Sunday into early Monday. That'll be the best chance to catch a few showers, at least for some of us. Let's talk about those temperatures right behind this front. It's going to get cold, and it's going to get cold very quickly. Sunday afternoon, most of us will be in the mid to upper 70s in some spots. These are just our coastal temperatures. High of 73 on the coast in Gulfport. A little bit further inland, even just north of I-10. Looking at those mid to upper 70s possible. Going to be a very warm day on Sunday, and then that cold front moves through. By Monday afternoon, already down in the 50s. Tuesday afternoon, we might struggle to get out of the 40s. It's going to be very, very cold and dry behind this cold front. Morning temperatures, excuse me, morning temperatures not all that much better. As a matter of fact, we are looking at the possibility of a light freeze across a lot of South Mississippi as we go into the early and middle parts of next week. These are your morning temperatures. Look at Sunday, waking up just like the past few days, right around 60 degrees. Monday, that front is actively passing through around Monday morning, and that's when we start to see that little bit of a temperature drop. That dry air starts to filter its way in. We may be waking up in the mid to lower 50s. But then we get into Tuesday, and that's the first day that we are completely behind the front. And look at that. That's a morning temperature of 34. Once again, this is for the coast in Gulfport. If you're a little bit further inland, if you're along the rivers, you have a good chance of seeing 3, 4, maybe even 5 degrees lower than that. That puts you right around 30. That's just below freezing. Same applies to Wednesday morning. 30 degrees right around, very close to the coast in Gulfport. Further inland, you could be looking at those upper 20s. So very cold starts as we head to really Tuesday, Wednesday looking like the coldest days with this front going through. Thursday, Friday, still very chilly out there, but much closer to where we should be this time of year. Of course, on average, the last week of December, we are waking up usually around 43. So much closer to average there once we get to Thursday and Friday. Here's your GFS Futurecast. This is one forecast model, so this is one out of many, many models, so don't take these as exact numbers, but you can see pretty clearly the possibility for those sub-30 temperatures to make it fairly close to the coast there, as well as freezing, 32, possibly making it all the way down to the coast. This is Tuesday morning, so what is probably the warmer of the 2 days, talking about Tuesday and Wednesday morning. So Wednesday just a little bit colder than this, with that low 30s, maybe right into the upper 20s, making it down into the lower 6 counties here in South Mississippi. Let's kind of recap everything. Let's talk about the 7-day forecast. Kind of a lot to talk about here because we have some really big changes right in the dead center of this. But today, tomorrow, going through the weekend, rain chances very slowly rising. Not a big jump, but the possibility for maybe a few hit or miss showers, especially just out ahead and along the cold front. Once that front moves through, things are going to change very quickly. Breezy winds out of the north, very cold, very dry air starts to work its way in. We really get the first shot of that very cold air by about Monday evening into Tuesday morning. That's when we start to see those crisp, cold temperatures all the way down into the 30s. By Wednesday morning, the coldest air starts to arrive. We could be seeing a light freeze across to all of South Mississippi come Wednesday morning. So start thinking about those cold weather preparations as we go through the weekend. Make sure you're protecting those sensitive plants. Bring those pets inside and get ready for colds to return just in time for the new year.